top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. AG defends government amid Afro-Guyanese marginalization allegations. Powers vested in political parties at GECOM must be stripped and given to independent civil groups, says Justice ABEL. And GHALEE charged with murder. Victims' families say it was premeditated murder. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Wednesday, April 16 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. In a heated exchange of viewpoints on the global stage, Guyana's top legal official, Attorney General Anil Nandlal, has responded to serious allegations of systematic marginalization and the seizure of ancestral lands raised by Vincent Alexander, chairman of EPADG. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
One day after Vincent Alexander, the chairman of the International Decade for People of African Descent Guyana, EPADG, criticized the government for the systemic marginalization of Afro-Guyanese and the seizure of ancestral lands through institutional and legal manipulation. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal responded to Alexander's claim on the world stage during the fourth session of the United Nations Permanent Forum on People of African Descent. Speaking on his weekly program Issues in the News, the AG defended the government's record, arguing that audits would show significant socio-economic improvements for Afro-Guyanese. The debate comes at a time when issues of representation, equity, and historical narratives are at the forefront of national discussion, raising questions about the country's commitment to justice and progress. The AG stated that if a forensic audit was conducted, it would reveal that Guyanese are now living better than ever before. He expressed this without fear of contradiction and invited any debate on the matter.
That Afro-Guyanese currently are better off than they have ever been in the history of Guyana now.
The AG stressed that more Afro-Guyanese are pursuing education now than at any other point in Guyana's history.
Afro-Guyanese are receiving more lands and they own more properties from the state than they have ever received or they ever enjoyed at any other point in Guyana's history.
The AG emphasized that the concept of ancestral lands does not exist in land ownership or in Guyanese law and has no place in the country's historical evolution.
It is a recent creation that now forms part of the racist lexicon, and it's a recent fabrication.
On Tuesday, during his address at the fourth session of the United Nations Permanent Forum on People of African Descent, Alexander blasted Labour Minister Joseph Hamilton, who earlier told the forum that amid rapid economic growth, the Guyana government has been taking decisive action to advance development, reduce poverty, geographical disparity, ethnic insecurities, and inequality in the country.
The time for polite silence is over. We ask this forum to stand with us for justice, equality, and repair.
Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Tiana. Antonio Day tells us that the One Guyana floating production, storage, and offloading vessel, which is engineered for a minimum production capacity of 250,000 barrels of oil per day and a storage capability of around 2 million barrels, arrived in Guyana on Tuesday.
Built by SBM Offshore, the One Guyana FPSO, which will support ExxonMobil's Yellowtail development, arrived in Guyana on Tuesday. The Ministry of Natural Resources in a statement flagged that the FPSO is designed to store approximately 2 million barrels of oil and have a minimum production capacity of 250,000 barrels per day. It will increase the Scarborough Block's daily production to about 900,000 barrels once it is operational later this year. securing Ghana's position as a major player in the world energy market. Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat in a statement, and I quote, "The arrival of the One Ghana FPSO is a powerful symbol of progress, not only in the oil production, but in the continued development and empowerment of people through job creation, local business opportunities, and increased revenues that support development across Guyana," unquote. The vessel follows the arrival of the Liza Destiny, Unity, and Prosperity FPSOs, which are already producing oil offshore. Exxon's operations have been steadily growing since the first oil lift in December 2019 with the addition of this fourth vessel. Since March 2023, the One Ghana FPSO entered dry dock at Singapore's Keppel Yard, where it has undergone advanced outfitting and construction, including the continuous installation of riser balconies and mooring structures. The FPSO is designed with advanced gas processing capabilities, with the ability to treat up to 450 million cubic feet of natural gas per day, and has a water injection capacity of 300,000 barrels per day. It will be stationed in water depths of about 1,800 meters using spread mooring technology. I'm Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
In the courts, a convicted drug trafficker who was deported from the United States has been charged with murder. The family of the victim wants the court to find that the murder was planned. Here's more. As security service owner GHALEE Khan was escorted out of the Wales police station lockups to appear before a Wales magistrate, family members of Marissa Beat, who was shot and killed by Khan, gathered outside the Wales magistrate's courthouse calling for swift justice. They want the court to find Khan guilty of premeditated murder.
You can't just go. You have to premeditate to actually go at my niece's house and put 2 shots in her.
Khan is accused of the murder of Marissa Beat on April 8, 2025 at her residence at Parfait Harmony, West Bank, Demerara. He appeared before Magistrate Rondell Weaver, the Wales Magistrates Court, where the charge was read to him. He was not required to plead and was remanded to prison until May 27, 2025.
So all we want for the relative and the family is justice. We want for her niece, a 30-year-old. Why would you want to take her life? Why would you want to take a young 30-year-old life who now trying to make it in life?
Police said the initial investigation revealed that Beat and Khan shared a romantic relationship for the past 2 years and subsequently ended due to a misunderstanding of sorts. Khan visited the woman's home last Monday night, where he allegedly shot and killed her. He had also attempted to commit suicide by turning the gun on himself.
GHALEE has other things he could live for. He have his children. You have other children. Mother, my niece don't have any children as yet. He could have focused on something else. That's all we want, justice.
Khan was also convicted in the United States for cocaine trafficking and was deported to Guyana less than 2 years ago. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. This is the HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
Keeping up with the kids' growth spurts might mean it's time for a bigger fridge. Don't worry, at Quartz, we've got you. Save up to $50,000 on select fridges. Get a free grill or mixer with select stoves and more. Need to upgrade your home? Get smart TVs from as low as $32,999. Plus, shop today and pay later. And make your first payment in 30 days with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home. Offer ends April 23, 2025.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc. powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
With 70% ethyl alcohol, Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer eliminates 99.99% of all germs and even moisturizes in the process, leaving your skin clean and hydrated. Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer. How do you stay clean?
Krishna Roth Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating, machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624, 616-9416, or 619-7880. At Krishna Roth Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Welcome back. Our developing story. The Chinese government on Wednesday touted a friendly conversation between Guyana and Venezuela on the border controversy. Daisy Richards has more.
Speaking at a press briefing earlier on Tuesday at the Embassy of the People's Republic of China, Deputy Chief of Mission, when asked about the recent incursion by Venezuelan Coast Guards in Guyana's waters, said that the two nations should engage each other in conversation and negotiations.
They can solve the border issue through friendly consultation and negotiations.
He further pointed out that China has never intervened or had plans on intervening in any country's internal affairs.
We respect all nations' sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mark Phillips told the community of Latin American and Caribbean states during a meeting in Honduras that Guyana's territorial integrity is still under tremendous threat. The statement made a clear reference to Venezuela, which has threatened to hold elections in Guyana's Essequibo region, despite a pending case before the International Court of Justice, awaiting a decision on the ongoing border dispute between the two countries. Venezuela has also threatened Guyana's oil resources when its naval vessel entered into Guyana's exclusive economic zone in March of this year. For HGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
In this story from Antonio Day, you will hear a prominent legal mind advocating for structural reforms at GECOM to replace the party-nominated model with a merit-based independent electoral system commission.
Justice retired Courtney Abel, an expert in constitutional law, feels that the time has come to fully strip major political parties of their authority and transfer it to independent civil society organizations in light of the Guyana Elections Commission's ongoing deadlock on issues of electoral significance.
The civil society groups should be the ones who actually appoint the chair. You know, not the parties. We got to take this away from the politicians because it's not about them, it's about us.
The University of Guyana lecturer noted that the current composition at the Guyana Elections Commission has contributed solely to prejudice decisions being made, which in the long run has effects on the local electoral process.
Creatively reimagining a system that works in everybody's interest. I mean, I know it sounds theoretical and what have you, but that we've got to be driven by that kind of idealism.
He recommended that the reformation of GECOM can include civil society representatives such as those in academia, legal professionals, and indigenous representatives.
What happens? What about all the other people in society who are not necessarily wed to a political party or have other perspectives than the political parties?
Justice Abel proposed that there must be independent international oversight bodies during the observance of elections. He noted that these non-partisan bodies would be able to investigate complaints, oversee compliance with legal standards, or any form of electoral malpractice. The legal luminary to this end also proposed electoral dispute resolution, which is geared at creating special electoral courts or tribunals to expedite challenges. He said that aids in ensuring public confidence in the adjudication of electoral disputes. I'm Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
A former sheriff security drone operator is now able to get on with his life after he withdrew what appears to have been a malicious police complaint against a city businessman. Here is more. Azruddin Mohammed will no longer have to report to the Rijnveld police station after drone operator Nathan Prince on Tuesday withdrew his complaint against the businessman. Last Tuesday, Prince told police that Mohammed had threatened him with a firearm and blocked his vehicle after he was caught flying a drone over the businessman's property at Houston, East Bank, Demerara. Prince visited the police station in the company of his attorneys, Dexter Todd and Dexter Smart.
This young man has always been one who has done everything in his life to add to the development of this country.
Mohammed had also told police that the allegations by Prince were false and requested that an investigation be conducted against him. As a result, he had filed an official police complaint, which was also withdrawn.
Persons close to me talk to them, and I think this is the right thing Mr. Prince did. He did it off his own.
Prince's attorney Dexter Todd told reporters that after interviewing Prince, he was convinced that his client was not pressured into the decision.
My client went to the police and he has given a no further action statement, and that is it.
The Guyana Civil Aviation Authority has made it clear that it is against aviation laws to fly drones over someone's property. Quote, "No person shall operate an unmanned aerial vehicle, irrespective of the dimensions or maximum weight of that aircraft, for the purpose of obtaining, recording, or transmitting information, whether in the visible spectrum or otherwise, unless that person has obtained written authorization from the authority to obtain, record, or transmit such information." Unquote. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
GECOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. How to apply for registration. You must visit the GECOM registration office that is responsible for your area of residence to apply for registration or name change or correction. You must be in possession of the following source documents as might be relevant. Original birth certificate or valid Guyana passport for new registration. Original marriage certificate and original birth certificate in the case of a name change by marriage. Original deed poll and original birth certificate in the case of a name change by deed poll. Original naturalization certificate and original birth certificate or valid passport in the case of naturalization. This registration exercise will end on May 30, 2025. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at another address since you were registered. For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-027729 or visit.
Keeping up with the kids' growth spurts might mean it's time for a bigger fridge. Don't worry, at Quartz, we've got you. Save up to $50,000 on select fridges. Get a free grill or mixer with select stoves and more. Need to upgrade your home? Get smart TVs from as low as $32,999. Plus, shop today and pay later. And make your first payment in 30 days with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home. Offer ends April 23, 2025.
Thanks for staying with us here in the HGP Nightly News. We tell you now that residents of Hydronie on the east bank of Essequibo will benefit from a new water well by the end of 2025. This was announced by President Irfan Ali during an engagement with the community.
Following the expansion of treated water in 2021 to the village of Hydronie on the east bank of Essequibo, President Irfan Ali, in a recent engagement with the community, made an announcement that plans are afoot to develop a new well to serve the residents.
We have a contractor in place, right, Sheikh? And we are now in the process of drilling a new, is it ultra deep? A new ultra deep well to increase the production.
Ali highlighted that the well is being developed due to residents complaining about the low pressure from the existing water source. And with the drilling and commissioning of the new well, the current problem will be alleviated.
Pressure in, pressure in. The well that supply all of these community is aging. And all of us, when we age, we slow down.
The head of state also told the residents to expect the problem to be resolved by the end of 2025. Meanwhile, the president also announced that the contractor working on the A-line coker on the Essequibo coast has been terminated.
Before the end of this week, I'm told, a new contractor will be in place to commence work to have that project completed.
The head of state also highlighted that there should be no more delays in the project because all of the required materials have been procured and are currently in Guyana. The government in July of 2024 signed a US $45 million agreement with the World Bank for the Coastal Adaptation Resilience Project to rehabilitate or replace 4 to 5 cokers across the country. For HGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
Thank you, Daisy, for your reporting. In a major step towards strengthening the country's healthcare system, the government of Guyana has graduated 764 nursing assistants through its innovative hybrid training program. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
Launched 2 years ago, this initiative is part of a broader effort to address the shortage of trained healthcare professionals across the country. The intensive 12-month program began with theoretical online instructions and later transitioned into practical, in-person training sessions. This hybrid model was designed to provide flexibility in knowledge acquisition while maintaining a high standard of education and preparation for the real-world clinical settings. Delivering a feature address at the event, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony highlighted that although the government has been investing significantly in healthcare infrastructure, such as the construction of 6 new hospitals, the sector continues to grapple with a shortage of qualified medical personnel.
So all 6 of these hospitals, we'll be opening them over the next couple of months. And we want to have staff in these hospitals. We thought that we have to come up with a very innovative way in how we are going to train people.
Anthony encouraged the graduates to view their accomplishments not as the end, but as a foundation for further growth and career advancement.
We want you to see yourselves as having a career in nursing or in health as a whole.
He further emphasized the importance of compassion in the healthcare profession, urging the graduates to approach their work with empathy and a genuine commitment to patient care.
One of the characteristics that we want all of our nursing assistants to have is that they must have empathy. Because without empathy, you have to feel what the other person is feeling when they come to care. You have to understand that they're in that vulnerable position.
Valedictorian Felicia McLean, who hails from the mining town of Linden, said during an interview that words could not capture the depth of her emotions, but she gave all praises and thanks to God for her journey.
Follow every advice that the tutor gave you. Turn up to class every day. Stand in front of the class. If you don't know something, no question is a stupid question.
The graduating class represented a diverse cross-section of Guyanese, with participants hailing from every administrative region. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Your regional news is up next.
With a new look, new style, with the same great taste in the 250 ml can. Everybody run out now. Go and go grab Turbo 1. Me charge up with a Turbo 250 ml at your favorite spot. Wait, sell. New look, new can, same vibes. Jinxing, energize up your life. Vibes up, work time, anytime we are turn up the party with Turbo can. Turbo can, Turbo can, Turbo can. Now available in the new 250 ml can. Turbo energy drink. Charge up today.
GECOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Where to apply for registration? You are required to visit the GECOM registration office that is responsible for the registration of persons in your area of residence to apply for registration. Office hours, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 12 and 13 to 16 hours 30. Friday, 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 15 hours 30. The offices will be closed on weekends and holidays. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at another address since you were registered. This registration exercise will end on May 30, 2025. For more information, contact the GECOM on 2250-277-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Interested in honoring or paying tribute to a loved one, or just making a loved one feel special? HGP TV offers you all that and more. Air your birthday greetings, death announcements, and wedding anniversaries on HGP TV today. HGP TV offers affordable prices, convenience, and great services. Call us on 220-3660 or email us at sales@hgptv.com.
Good evening, I'm Daisy Richards with Wednesday's edition of the Regional News. We bear with news from Peru. A Peruvian court on Tuesday sentenced ex-President Ollanta Humala to 50 years in prison for receiving illicit campaign funds from a Brazilian construction firm, making him the nation's latest former leader to head behind bars. Humala and his wife are accused of receiving funds from Brazilian builder known as Novanor in his successful 2011 election campaign. Humala's wife Nadine was also sentenced to 15 years in prison on Tuesday. Peru's foreign ministry said that following the verdict, Nadine entered the Brazilian embassy in Lima to request asylum. In talks with the Peruvian government, Brazil is negotiating a safe conduct path that would allow Nadine to leave Peru and travel to Brazil, a Brazilian government source said. The source declined to be named as the ongoing talks are confidential. Humala, a retired military officer who led the Andes Nation from 2011 to 2016, will likely carry out his sentence on a police base built specially to house Peru's jailed leaders. During his trial, which lasted 3 years after an investigation which kicked off in 2016, Humala decried the charges as political persecution. Prosecutors alleged Humala received the illicit funds in his 2011 campaign against Keiko Fujimori through Humala's Nationalist Party. His imprisonment will be effective immediately, even if he appeals the conviction. The court is expected to continue reading out the full sentencing over the next several days. Humala's lawyer called the sentence excessive, saying prosecutors failed to prove the legal origin of the funds. He said the defense plans to appeal once the final ruling is issued on April 29. Humala is Peru's second former president to be jailed and the fourth to be implicated for his role in the sweeping graft known as Lava Jato. In 2019, former President Alan Garcia killed himself by gunshot wound as police descended on his home to arrest him for alleged corruption related to the firm. Meanwhile, Toledo was sentenced to 2 decades in prison last year after receiving $35 million in bribes in exchange for public work contracts. While in Ecuador, support for Ecuadorian leftist Luisa Gonzalez call for recount in the country's presidential election was dwindling on Monday as a growing number of prominent members of her party said President Daniel Noboa had secured a full term in Sunday's vote. Noboa's support was holding at 55.6%, the level at which it remained for nearly the entire count. Gonzalez has 44.4% support. Noboa and electoral authorities said on Sunday he had won the contest leading by more than 1 million votes in a surprising sweep after a tight February 1st round when he finished ahead by just over 16,700 votes. Gonzalez told supporters on Sunday she did not accept the results, which she called grotesque fraud, and she would demand a recount. She offered no evidence of fraud, nor did she immediately call for protests. Gonzalez had not appeared publicly on Monday as of late afternoon. Candidates can contest results under some conditions after the official count closes. As of late afternoon on Monday, less than 1% of ballot boxes remained to be counted and only 0.81% registered some kind of irregularity. Influential RC members individually recognized Noboa's victory. Noboa's win was consistent with what Organization of American States officials observed during voting. Luis Almagro, its Secretary General, said. Finally, the push for slavery reparations is at a defining moment, a Caribbean community official said on the second day of a United Nations forum, adding it was time to step up actions to hold former colonial powers to account for past wrongs. Calls for reparations are long-standing but have been gaining momentum worldwide, particularly among the CARICOM and the African Union. Backlash against it has also been growing. CARICOM has a reparations plan which, among other demands, calls for technology transfers and investments to tackle health crises and illiteracy. The AU is developing its own plan. CARICOM and the AU have in recent years joined forces in the fight for reparations, and Hillary Brown said that partnership put the movement at a defining moment as they can use one voice to demand action. Brown said together they could advance the reparations agenda at the UN and other intergovernmental bodies, co-sponsor a joint UN resolution on reparations, and advocate for a high-level political forum on the issue. Many of Europe's leaders have opposed even talking about reparations. At least 12.5 million Africans were kidnapped, forcibly transported by European ships and sold into slavery from the 15th to the 19th centuries. Opponents of reparations argue, among other things, that contemporary states and institutions should not be held responsible for their past. But advocates say action is needed to address the legacies, such as systemic and structural racism, and say that contemporary states still benefit from the wealth generated by hundreds of years of exploitation. Thank you for watching. Do have a great rest of the week. Until next time.
AG defends government amid Afro-Guyanese marginalization allegations. Powers vested in political parties at GECOM must be stripped and given to independent civil groups, says Justice ABEL. GHALEE Khan charged with murder. Victims' families say it was premeditated murder. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.